Jai Shri Mataji. Good morning, everyone. Let's bow down to Shri Mataji, raise our Mother Kundalini and put Bandhan. Shri Ganesh Mantra. Let us balance our left chin. Shimataji, you are Sakshat Shri Mahakali. Kindly awaken the pure desire within us. Let us balance our right channel. Shimataji, you are Sakshat Shri Mahasaraswati. Please awaken the pure attention within us. Now let us balance our central channel. Shimataji, you are Sakshat Shri Mahalakshmi. Kindly establish our self-realization. Kindly remove any obstacle in our spiritual ascent. Let us move our attention from Mooladhara to the Swadhisthana and all the chakra on the central channel till Sahasrara. Shimataji, please bless us with thoughtless awareness state. Let us listen to Shimataji's speech.
To this beautiful meeting of such seekers who look so truthful. When I read about Unity Church and what they were doing, I felt this is the place where it is going to trigger first. Because your founder himself was a realized soul. He was a realized soul, but perhaps he did not realize that others were not realized up to his level. And whatever he talked was the truth, nothing but the truth. But you cannot imagine about truth. You have to become. Becoming is the main point. Unless and until you become the truth, whatever you talk about, it becomes talk, talk, talk. And we have had talks after talks after talks. Now the time has come for us to become. What do we become? What do we have to expect after self-realization? As he has told you, I would like to tell you this way, that we have heard that God's love is all pervading. The divine love is all pervading energy. We have heard about it, we have read about it. Now what happens to us, that we are awakened in such a manner that we started feeling that power. Our sensitivity or our awareness becomes so enlightened that we start feeling that divine power around us. It exists. For example, if I say there is big music going on here and big plays and dramas going on here, you won't believe. Till I put a television here and say, now see for yourself. In the same way, this all-pervading power is still imaginary for us, or we can say is not our own experience. Still people believed it because it was told by great people, great incarnations like Christ. But what it means, what it is, we have not felt it. And that's the first thing that should happen to you, is to feel that. That means our feeling is not so much yet developed, or is not enlightened, or is not evolved to that extent that we can feel. In our evolution, say from animals to this stage, how many feelings we have developed which the animals don't have? For example, if you want to take an animal through a dirty lane, he doesn't feel any dirt or filth or doesn't smell anything. He just walks through. Take any horse or any dog, they have no problems. But for human beings to go through that will be an impossibility. Our feelings, experiencing power is so much developed that we can feel the beauty, we can feel the colors, we can see the beauty of this place. They cannot feel. But now the feeling that has to come to us is the feeling of that all-pervading power, the divine power, which in Sanskrit is called as Brahma. That divine power is the desire of God. God desired because He loved us. He is complete. He need not have created us at all. What was the need for Him to create us? But His love and His compassion. And He wanted to give His compassion, to express His compassion. And that's why He created us with what care and with what delicacy. That one has to just see. We take ourselves for granted, our evolution for granted, everything for granted. As He said that you did not pay anything to become human beings. You did not pay for anything. For example, every day you see the flowers becoming fruits. How much do you pay to the tree for it? You see a seed sprouting. How much do you pay to the seed for getting sprouted? It's also spontaneous, it's living. And we are talking here about the living God who lives, who does all the living things. What do? We do nothing. We do just dead work. Like something is dead, supposing a tree is dead, we make a chair, we think, oh, we have made a chair. It's a dead from the dead. We have not done something living so far. Have we been able to convert even one flower into a fruit? And these thousands and billions of things are happening around us. That's the work of the living God. And also this evolution that has to go to its epitome now, to its last stage, that is your self-realization. Supposing I start collecting some nuts and bolts and start collecting some sort of a machinery, you will say what this machinery is meant for. Why are you making it? Why this evolution? Why did we evolve to this stage of a human being? What was the need? What was the purpose? Anybody would ask why? Why there should be a machine made like this? And that question is not asked by scientists so far. Because they have no answer for it. They are very honest. Because they have no answer for the why, they don't ask that question. Whatever is presented to them, they see it and say this is it, this is so. Now to get to God, you don't have to go to Saturn or don't have to go to moon. He's within. He is within you, expressed within you in your heart aspect. It's all written in the Bible. I'm not telling something new. Christ has said you are to be born again. When I came 9 years back in America, I gave speeches where I said you are to be born again. And it's a happening, it's a becoming, should happen, it's actualization. It's a real baptism that you should feel the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost coming out of your head. It should happen to you. So they took you over. They said, all right, we are born again. Again, self-certification. Is all certifying yourself, we are born again, we are this, we are that. You are nothing but your spirit. And you have to become the spirit. Unless and until you have become it, all this certificate is not going to help you, nor you are going to feel satisfied because you are seekers. You are a special category of people born on this earth at this special time. This is a very special time. It's an extremely special because this is the blossom time and this is the last judgment. Only through Kundalini awakening you can judge yourself. Otherwise there is no way of finding out. Because when the Kundalini awakens, which is settled down here in the triangular bone, then your centers get awakened. When they get awakened, you get this special sensitivity even on your fingertips. Now these 5 fingers, 6 and 7, all of them get enlightened. Once they get enlightened, you can feel not only the all-pervading power, but you become, as he said, the collective conscious being. You become. Again I say you become. It's not that I say we are all brothers and sisters, we must love each other. It's not that way, but you just become. Means you start feeling the another person within yourself. So much so I was coming to Houston. And there's an Indian Sahajogini who has come from India. And she told me, Mother, why the heart is catching so much in Houston? I said, do you know there are heart specialists here who transplant heart, who have got also there's Dr. Kuri who is doing operations on the heart patients. And there must be many heart patients in this place and that's why you're catching on the heart. And she said, it has become stiff, my finger is. I said, all right, there are mantras by which you can put it. But it affects everyone and everyone can feel it within themselves. You become the other person. Like people say, Mother, you take money or what? I said, this is something one should understand. That you are part and parcel of my being. I can feel you within myself. Now supposing my finger is something wrong with my finger, if I try to help it, am I helping anybody other? Who is the other? Who is the other person? That's the thing, is the real unity, is the complete integration of being. When you feel everyone within yourself, you start feeling them on your feet. You start feeling yourself also within yourself, trying to know what's wrong with you. But in that case, you don't feel bad. You don't feel bad at all that you have this problem or that problem because you are no more involved. Today, I am just introducing this method which I call as Sahaja Yoga. Sahaja. Saha means with, Ja means born. Spontaneous yoga means it is the inborn right of every seeker to get this union. Now today it has reached the stage of Mahayoga, means thousands can get realization. It's a fact. It's the truth. People can get it. There's nothing so difficult, you see, when the blossom time comes. How many flowers become fruits? In the beginning, maybe only 1 flower or 2 flowers. But when the blossom time comes, people have to see that. And in the same way, you have to face that a time has to come where thousands must get realization, millions must get it, Billions must get it. As soon as possible, it is for you. Please try to spread this message that you are to become the Spirit. This is a very important point which we miss. For example, say our machine is not yet connected. Say a television is not connected. What's the use of moving the knobs? You won't get anything. On the contrary, you may spoil the television. Or say a telephone. When we pray to God also, we telephone without connection. We have to have the connection. That's very important, and that's what it was when Christ said that you are to be born again. As it is, Christ was not allowed to live more than 3.5 years in that horrible country. He was crucified for saying what? He told the truth. He just told the truth that you have to become the Spirit, which is a fact. You have to become the Spirit. I mean, it's such a simple thing to understand that we have not yet found out our absolute. We do not know why are we here, what is our absolute sense. Unless and until you find your absolute, you live in relativity. You don't know whether this person is right or that person is right, whether he is a saint or he is a satanic force or what sort of a vibrations he has got. Even to such an extent that I was surprised in Spain that some people told us that for us, vibrations means heat. I said any machine which it goes out creates heat. Friction, it creates heat. How did you believe that it is heat? They said you feel very heated up. To understand one thing mentally is different than to understand it spiritually. Spiritually means you become the Spirit, the absolute. There is no other opinion about it. For example, there is a gentleman sitting here and you get 10 children who are realized souls. There are many realized souls these days born in America. I must tell you, many children are born realized. And those children, if you put them together and ask them what's wrong with this person, they will all raise this finger saying this is the finger, that's burning. It's subjective. Just they say this is the finger that's burning. Even if you close their eyes, they'll say the same thing. There cannot be two opinions about that person, and that means he's suffering from the trouble that is in this center called as cervical plexus. You see, this one in Sanskrit is called as Vishuddhi chakra. But in the gross, it manifests the cervical plexus. Now, in the universe, America is placed at this point. It's a very important point because it has got 16 subplexuses. And you'll be amazed that the Saturn is the body of this plexus, Saturn. And now they have discovered that it has got 16 planets and one that was caught up by them. Even the ring and all that is already told about this. So all these things they are finding out was found out long time back and was described from a subtler level. Now, this is a very, very important thing one has to know, that America itself, God has created with a special purpose. Abraham Lincoln and all these people, great people who talked about the fraternity and the collectivity and all that. Because this is the center of collectivity. This is the center where people feel the collectivity. Even your unity church is the outcome of that unconscious guiding, that you have to become the collective being. And this collective being is placed here at the Vishuddhi chakra, which is important because it has got 16 subplexes, and that controls all our lymphatic systems and our ears, eyes, nose, and all these important things, and neck also. Also from here arises the ego and the superego, which is shown from there, but actually they start coming up from here. When man raised his head from animal stage like this center started developing in a very peculiar way. And in that condition, this ego and superego started evolving and forming a cup-like thing. About this, I'm going to tell you tomorrow all about the centers and about the chakras and all that. But today I want to tell you about the truth. The truth as it is that God loved us. In His divine love, He created us. And first thing that He has produced, or first thing that He created for us, is His divine love. This all-pervading power. And that divine power also resided within us as this Kundalini. Now this power within us is the power of desire to be one with God. which is not yet manifested. It is called as a sleeping desire, or we can say a sleeping energy, because it has not yet manifested. Supposing I create a machinery and do not put to the mains, it doesn't work. So though I have put all my effort and everything to create the machinery, unless and until I put it to the mains, it is still in a sleeping state. So it is also called as a residual energy, meaning it has created the whole universe of human beings, but it has not been yet manifested. That's why it is called as a residual energy. This energy is within us. Now, I would say that when I say something to you, or if I tell you something, you should not also take me for granted, because I may be telling you lies, possibly. But that doesn't mean you should deny me. Like a scientist, you must have an open mind. When you come here, it's an hypothesis for you. And once the hypothesis is proved, then you have to accept it. And that's what one should come with, that attitude. I would not say that people have ego or rationality too much, but it should be logical. Logically, you must reach a point to understand that there are many things we do not understand. For example, medical science cannot explain that the law is the health of a person or a human being as he is always reacts to any foreign thing that enters into the body, anything that enters into the body. And when a lady conceives, the fetus is not thrown out. Not only, but it is nurtured and thrown out at the right time when it is perfectly matured enough to get out from the mother's womb. How it happens, they cannot explain. Even they say that acetylcholine and adrenaline, these are two chemicals, ordinary chemicals, as you know, as all chemicals are. But in the human body, they cannot say why they augment and why they relax. They cannot explain the mode of action of these two. They cannot explain. Now it is unconscious. That means it is not in our central nervous system. We are not conscious of it. So we have to be conscious of it. Now how do we get conscious of it? Is that first we have to get connected to our spirit. Because spirit is the expression of that universal unconscious within us. Or you can say the link. Unless and until you get your self-realization, you cannot be linked. You cannot be linked with this universal power which is within us as Kundalini and which is without all over. It is most surprising to understand that God, who has created us with such care, with such love, especially as a human being, which is the most beautiful thing God has created. We may not think so. We may not. We may have self-pity, we may have guilt, all these nonsensical ideas, but you don't know. You are special things that God has created. And on top of that, the highest human beings are not these politicians or these great successes and geniuses and all that, but who? These are the seekers. Because they have to enter into the kingdom of God. It is their right first to enter into the kingdom of God. They are a very, very special category. And this is very well described by a great poet, William Blake, who says that these are men of God. And he described the modern times and Sahaja Yoga very well. He says these men of God will be born in those days and they will become prophets. And they will have powers to make other prophets. And that's the thing is, then when you go to any seeking or anyone, you must know, have you become your own master? You must have the mastery. Supposing you want to learn a car driving, a simple thing like that, you should know how to drive the car. Supposing you go to somebody for any seeking, you must know, have you been able to drive yourself all right towards seeking? For example, I have seen people who just start jumping. When I went to India, there was a gentleman who was sitting and he put his feet forward like that. So people said, you can't put your feet towards further, that's not proper. He said, oh, if I put my feet backwards, I will start jumping like a frog. I said, how? Why? What has happened to you? He said, my Kundalini is awakened by Guru, and he says that after Kundalini is awakened, you start jumping like a frog. And he showed me in the book, this fellow had written that you start jumping like a frog. Can you imagine? It was written in the book. I said, are you going to become now frogs or earthworms? Are you going to jump like that, like a monkey or a frog? Are you going to bark like a dog? You are going to become a superhuman being. You are not going to be driven by these forces. These are all negative forces which control you and make you mad like. You have to understand everything when you get your realization, every word of it. It's so logical, it's so practical, as he says. It is so practical and it is so wonderful. Gavin Brown, who came here first, was one of the first yogis I had in London. And you know, English people are rather difficult to crack. I mean, rather difficult people, but they are first class. I mean, that's a good thing because they do not get exposed to so many nonsenses that some people who are open can get to. And once they get realization, they are really top class people. Now, this gentleman, when he got realization, he said, Mother, you said we can be collectively conscious. I can't believe it. How can I become? I said, if I tell you about the television, you won't believe me till I put it to the mains. See, anybody will think it's just a box. But you are a great instrument and you have started working. He said, all right, I'm rather worried about my father. He didn't telephone to me all these days. I said, all right, you can telephone to him and find out. I said, first of all, see your vibrations. He said, Mother, I'm getting a burning here, a terrible burning. Now, these are the centers for your father, right-hand side. These are the centers. So I said, all right, that means this center, that means he must be down with very bad bronchitis. He telephoned and the mother came in. And she said, I'm sorry, your father is down with very bad bronchitis. This telecommunication, this divine power knows everything, it understands everything, it knows you very well because it has created you. It organizes everything, it cooperates everything, it puts everything into integration, it works out everything. It works out so many things, even material things it works out. Even getting a ticket it will work out. It's so helpful. All the angels are there. Just to see all that, to witness it itself is so great. From lowest to the highest, it works out everything for you. And the whole, the sum total, the unity of it is that it is love. So it is so kind, it is so compassionate. It looks after you. It, you see, hobnobs with you a little bit, you see, gives you a little lesson here and there. But it never allows you to be ruined. It gives you little lessons if you do wrong. It teaches you a little bit, then again it brings you back. It's so loving, so kind, especially for people who are just little children, like seedlings. It looks after. It guides you very much. It helps you so much. It's such a wonderful thing to be with it. And the whole thing looks like a fun, like a drama.
Mahamantra.
त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुण्डलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्षप्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः।
Thank you, Shri Mataji, for this collective meditation. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Mataji. Let's bow down to Shri Mataji and take Vandan. We'll continue our morning meditation tomorrow, same time. Jai Shri Mataji.